Well, hello everyone, and welcome to my patch 6.2 Fury Warrior guide. Now, you're probably wondering, why should I play a Fury Warrior? Why not Arms or Prot? Well, for one, it doesn't fucking matter. All of the warrior specs are a ton of fun. And secondly, look at this fucker. His swords are as big as he is. That's because he's dual-wielding two-handers. That's right, there are two-handed swords in his hands, making it way easier to cleave the limbs off of some unsuspecting demon in Hellfire Citadel. Some of you are probably saying, isn't single-minded Fury better for DPS? And you're right in that regard. According to the latest simulations doing a patchwork test in full tier 18 heroic gear from Hellfire Citadel, single-minded Fury did about 1,000 DPS more than Titan's Grip. 1,000 DPS. Do you really think that's going to send your raid group over the edge when trying to kill whatever boss you're stuck on? Fuck no. In the end, it doesn't really matter whether you decide to dual wield two-handed or one-handed. Just use the better gear, and you'll be good to go. Moving on to talents, warriors have one of the best talent trees in the game, allowing you to swap between single target and AoE abilities on the fly to maximize effectiveness. For your tier 1 talent, this really is a matter of preference, though you shouldn't be afraid to change based on what the fight mechanics you're going up against. I tend to prefer double time, as it allows me to charge more often for more mobility, but it's really up to you. For tier 2, only about 2 of these are good. Second Wind is fucking horrible, and you will die if you use it. Between Rage Regeneration and Impending Victory, it's down to a matter of preference, as they heal for about the same amount. For your tier 3 talent, you're going to want to take Sudden Death. This will allow you to execute a lot more often, and the talent just straight up outperforms the other two. Your tier 4 talent comes down to what works best in the situation. Stormbolt is generally best for single target, although Dragon's Roar does comparable damage and is better for AoE. Tier 5 talents have some good PvP options, but I generally prefer going with Vigilance, as it is the best in most situations. Tier 6 talents have a lot of good buffs, and the most badass move that warriors have access to, Blade Storm! Cleaving down hundreds of foes in a vicious spiral of death is tons of fun, and will make your DPS rating skyrocket. That being said, Blade Storm doesn't do enough damage against single target foes to be worth his talent slot, and those situations should either take Bloodbath or Avatar, based on what gear you have. Your Tier 7 talent is generally going to be one of 2 abilities, depending on whether you are in a single target or AoE fight. Siegebreaker being the single target skill of choice, and Ravager being best for AoE. Should be noted that Anger Management is also a fairly good ability if Siegebreaker could knock enemies away that need to stay close, and the fight requires too much moving to make Ravager usable. For your glyphs, the only required glyph is Glyph of Unending Rage, which gives you 20 additional rage to play around with, allowing you to make a few mistakes when dumping rage that would normally lead to your warrior's head exploding. The rest of glyphs are either cosmetic, or can be slotted in based on preferred bonuses. I tend to use Glyph of Enraged Speed and Glyph of Bull Rush. With talents and glyphs out of the way, let's focus a bit on what most you probably came here for. A Fury Warrior DPS rotation. Your bread and butter skill as a Fury Warrior is Bloodthirst. This is what allows you to become enraged, and thanks to your mastery ability, it gives you a fairly high damage increase. My mastery, for example, is 30%, giving me a 30% increase in damage while enraged. It's a lot of fucking damage, so make sure you're enraged as much as possible. If for some reason you don't crit with Bloodthirst, be sure to pop Berserker Rage to become enraged instead. This ability has a fairly long cooldown, so make sure to only use it when you're not already enraged, or when you need to break a fear or sap. Becoming enraged also gives you a charge of Raging Blow, which will be one of your main damage sources. This ability generally takes priority over everything except for sudden death procs, and phase executes in most situations, while you are enraged. Your main rage dump ability is Wild Strikes. Bloodthirst also has a chance to give you 2 free casts of this ability, so make sure you burn through those when they become available to avoid capping out on rage. For your standard boss pull, you want to pre-pot. Yes, I said pre-pot, don't be a fucking scrub. And then you're going to want to pop your cooldowns, assuming there's a better opportunity to do so, and charge in. I have this bound together in a macro, which can be found in the description of the video. From there, pop Bloodthirst to become enraged, spin any sudden death procs you get, and cast your talent abilities such as Siegebreaker and Stormbolt. Then, cast Raging Blow and dump your rage with Wild Strikes until Bloodthirst is back off cooldown, making sure to spend your sudden death procs as soon as they become available. For AoE fights, you will start the same way until you become enraged, only adding a Ravager cast just before the charge. From there, cast Blade Storm, dump your rage with Whirlwind, and using it to build up stacks of Meat Grinder, which allows you to cast Raging Blow to hit multiple targets, and cast Raging Blow to smash your foes into oblivion. That's all for this guide. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and if you have any questions, post them in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them. This is Gravion, signing out.